Which we have to discuss Hong Kong. It dominated global headlines for days now. A controversial bill that seeks to extradite suspects to mainland China has led to violent clashes and protests. But today the city of Hong Kong made news for a different reason. It was for the way in which the protesters conducted themselves. These protesters were fighting for their rights, but while doing so, they did not forget about the rights of others. Look at these images and look at them carefully. These protesters displayed remarkable levels of discipline. Crowds of protesters were seen allowing ambulances to pass through. They also made way for buses to get out of congested areas. How many instances can you think of in India where this happened? The first thing protesters do is damage public property. And look at these people, the sea of people in Hong Kong. They parted to let an ambulance pass, and that is absolutely remarkable. These videos have been doing the rounds on social media, and they've been getting a lot of praise. As I said, protests are common, but such gestures extremely rare. Meanwhile, only a few hundred protesters now remain on the streets. They're no longer occupying the main highway outside the Parliament building. On Sunday, nearly 2 million protesters took part in a massive rally. They were dressed in black, all of them, and marched to the government offices. The bill now stands suspended, which is a huge win for these protesters. The leader of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam, has apologized for the way in which things were handled over the past few days. But the protesters are not convinced. They want Carrie Lam to step down now. They want this bill to be completely scrapped, not just suspended.
Need Carrie Lam to answer our question. We need her to say she will cancel the extradition bill. This is the main reason. Yeah. And now she just every day keep talking the same thing. She said she will stop it now, but she didn't say she will cancel. This is the difference.
Oh, we definitely want her to step down because I think the Hong Kong people is not trusting her anymore.
The protests have plunged Hong Kong into a political crisis, just as months of pro-democracy Occupy demonstrations did back in 2014. We spoke to Patrick Falk, WION correspondent, to get a sense of the situation on the ground. This is what he told us.
Well, the protests certainly have died down for the time being. And like you say, it was remarkably orderly yesterday. And one of the interesting things was that there weren't actually very many police officers around in the evening. And obviously they were trying to avoid there being any confrontation because of the criticism that's been levelled towards them. But certainly the calls for the chief executive to resign haven't died down in any way whatsoever. And just to throw another element into the mix, Joshua Wong, one of the key faces of the 2014 umbrella movement, has been released from prison today after serving 5 weeks of a 2-month jail term in relation to the 2014 Occupy protests. And he went straight down to the Legco complex today, where he was greeted with a rousing reception and has made some very strong calls for the chief executive again to resign. And also the other key demand is for the government to withdraw the extradition bill completely.